Good.
Stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Start with the agenda. Look for a motion to approve the agenda this evening.
I make a motion we approve the agenda as written.
I'll second
All those in favor?
that.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Everybody had a chance to review the minutes from last meeting. Entertain a motion to approve the meeting, or the minutes for the meeting.
Yeah, I'll make that motion.
Okay.
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay. New business. I'm going to open a public hearing for 2025-03, review the primary development plan for Leo High School. So if we have anyone from the public that has any comments, go ahead and step forward.
I'll speak just real quick to it. This is for the athletic field house addition. It's going on the south east corner of the building. Basically, if you run across the front line where the offices are at, it'll be the far east corner there. In the packet before you, you should have, or you do have a couple alternate bids that are in there. One is the base plan has them doing like a marching band field. Alternate one shows adding a parking lot, and then alternate two would be adding batting cages. I'm assuming that's all going to be decided based on where the dollars come in for each one of those projects, whether they all get done or not. So it's just a quick rundown of what we have in front of us.
Where's the field house going?
So it'll be on the southeast corner of the building where the old buses used to park,
Yeah, yeah.
in that lot there. And basically that lot is gonna get pushed farther to the east.
Yeah, I kind of wondered where they were.
Yeah, and if you look at the C2-C21, which is, yeah, so this is the current softball diamonds right here, so.
Are they losing a lot of parking there? or-
I mean, back there right now is only a bus parking, so I don't know how much they actually utilize it during the day.
Can I approach you?
Yeah, go ahead.
This may help you. The field house is right here, parking is still gonna be here, and this is where they're gonna set up for all the construction
Okay.
during the time, so I don't know if you
Yeah.
wanna share that.
Yes, pass that around.
Yeah.
So she's saying this area up here will be construction, student parking, and then.
So the buses will just be somewhere else?
No, the buses are actually be in the same place. The
They're out
buses
front
won't change.
currently. This was the old plan.
Can you see it okay?
Yep.
Yeah. So this is still student parking, and the buses will still come out the front out here. This back here is where the staging will be for the construction. So they'll come in off of the construction will. So this back lane that's behind the building that usually runs there will be gone during construction. This is the field house, so this is the front of the building with the student parking, and the field house is over here. Okay?
Are you putting another entrance in for the construction?
Yes, that's coming
It's
off
gonna
of-
go through one of those
Yeah, that's
properties?
coming right through here.
Okay.
So it
Need
won't involve the parent and pickup and all of that stuff, they won't be
So this is the
interrupted.
present, this is the softball diamond,
This
Where's
is,
that?
this softball, this is baseball.
baseball.
Yep, and then this is the field house.
Yeah. Just a layman, but I know that this area, we ride our bikes through here a lot,
Uh-huh.
and this area is always kind of congested.
It's still gonna be one way when it's all done.
Yeah, so where
But-
is that road going then?
This road right here, it'll
Okay,
still
that-
be,
that's still
yeah,
there.
it'll still be
Yeah.
here when it's all
Is
done.
this where the air conditioners are?
Not right now. The air conditioners aren't over there. No,
I was just wondering,
because those are back further. This is like where the cafeteria and the custodians are, so that's like your dumpsters, all that stuff will
okay.
be back further.
Yeah, and that's what, it just always seems really congested back there.
Yeah, and it's supposed to be one way. It was never
Yeah.
meant to be a
But
high.
just a lot of buildings and stuff going on back there. And like when you're attending the ball diamonds, the ball games and stuff.
Well, if
they're
our
very active,
alternate
yeah.
goes through, we will have additional parking out here where the band
Yeah.
area is. So that'll create more space, like for people to walk up to the softball and the baseball field. So that'll help, but we're also putting some handicap parking down here.
What goes inside here?
In the field house?
In the field house, what's inside?
There'll be 3 courts. One will be a wood court, and then 2 of them will be
So-
competitive.
All basketball courts?
They're basketball, volleyball, tennis, pickleball.
Not like a soccer field?
No, and there'll be 2 batting cages up top
Yeah.
for baseball.
Was there
softball.
discussion about moving this into the bus parking area?
No,
So it always seemed like it had to go there.
because we use it for PE classes and stuff.
Okay, so
kids
it's part of
need
the
to-
school.
Yeah, kids need to be able to, because we don't have enough room for PE, physical
Yeah.
education for students. Because it is a 7 through 12 campus, remember?
The community uses that area, walkers and bike riders.
Yeah, and they'll still be able to
yeah.
use it when it's done.
Yeah.
It's just during construction, they'll probably have to find a different.
Yeah, I guess I was just a little concerned about this kind of a major additional construction back there. And just wondered in terms of its overall community effect, if that wasn't starting to feel kind of crowded back in there and
Well,
a little less.
I would tell you, you'll have that path will be back there again once it's all done. So you're not gonna have any less than you have now.
Yeah.
I mean, it'll still be a pathway back there,
Yeah.
yeah.
Quick question.
Yes.
Is this where the buses also come in and out?
No, buses are all up front. Everything with buses is along here.
And it
The
comes out of
buses
Amstutz,
will-
right?
Yeah, they will not be coming through here. That's
I guess I was-
construction only.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, we're gonna keep them away from each other. We're keeping the construction people away from our kids as much as possible.
Well, and this is probably too early on, Tyler, but like the architectural plans for that building?
I do not have any.
We don't know what that's gonna look like.
That will come through on the secondary plat. So this is really just saying that, overall, the concept of this
Yeah.
plan makes sense for this area and fits the zoning requirements
Yeah.
for this area. So as far as the, actual architectural, exactly what's gonna be where, I think we do actually have, if you go through your packet, you should see some landscape plans and stuff like that, but we don't actually have the exterior, facility of it yet, so the actual.
I imagine zoning wise, that's,
So,
No problem.
actually, well, so to be honest, they're going through BZA right after this tonight, and
Okay.
the caveat to the primary fieldhouse development is that it gets approved by the BZA, because it is an R3, and it is a special use. We're working on giving them a use variance for the property versus a special use. Special use is tied to the project, a use variance is tied to the physical parcel. So it'll save them in the long run from having to come back to the BZA every time they wanna do something.
Okay. You got any more questions?
Oh,
Okay, I got it.
no, go ahead.
okay.
What's your length of construction on this?
It is to be done, we would start May 29th with like starting to put all of the equipment and stuff to start, and the fence would start being put up
Right.
around May 29th. And then it is done fall of 26.
So you'll be able to use it in the fall of
Fall of
26?
26. Yeah, fall of 26.
Will this
We have-
building, will this be used for tournaments in the summertime and the public to come in and use it?
It can be used
Anything to draw
wherever-
people into the
It can be
community?
used, we've put a track on it. I know when we had our community meetings, they asked about that, and as long as the building is open and we don't have like things scheduled in it.
Right.
Like, obviously kid events, our own students, those are gonna take precedent, but if there are other times, people asked if they could walk it, things like that, and again, that's all gonna be stuff that we are willing to, look at and consider at that time, because there isn't really a place out here for people to walk, as long as it's not during school hours. That was something they asked for.
During the winter? Now they've got all kinds of trails.
Yeah, and I know the trail system is going in.
Over the last 5 years, you guys have cut down on your bus routes, haven't you? You've changed them?
We've definitely consolidated as much as we can, like we're trying to make our buses so they're fuller versus
Right.
having, you know,
So is that kind of what caused a lot of this congestion?
no, I wouldn't say that that caused the congestion. Would you guys say that?
What congestion? No,
He's talking about the congestion up here, because the buses are all up here.
Yeah,
They're not back here.
I've been in that a couple times,
Yeah,
backing up one of my neighbors for picking up, one of the girls.
sure.
Well, that back drive mainly is for fire.
Yep, and
Right.
for
Fire
deliveries.
code and for deliveries
Deliveries.
only. That's where our food service deliveries.
And
Could
custodial
that be
cars.
made into a road?
It was just designed basically for
Deliveries and
360
stuff.
all around,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
fire mainly.
But it's used like a road.
It's still used,
Yeah,
technically,
yeah, it's
yeah,
used
people
like
drive
a,
through there like it's a road.
Yeah, everyone-
It's
a
not
lot of traffic
really
through
intended
there.
to be a road.
I think that's probably more my concern.
Well, and I think the concern with making it a road would be, you
Yeah.
don't have supervision out there for students. And you do have junior high kids who can be
Yeah.
on their phone and be doing stuff that they shouldn't be.
Yeah.
So I mean,
it's,
for safety reasons, I don't know that it would ever be a good thing that close, because you'd
Yeah.
have people crossing to the softball
I
field,
think
the
you're right
baseball
on that.
field.
Yeah,
And my first priority is always gonna be student safety. I'm just gonna be real honest with you. And that would be a concern for me, because they would be crossing that if there were cars going both ways especially. Having
Yeah.
cars go one way, at least
Exactly
you know they're
right, yeah.
looking.
it'd almost be better to close it down as a road, but then you got the emergency access.
Right, well, we need it for the custodial
Yeah.
deliveries and the cafeteria food,
Yeah.
because that's all back there, so.
They do a good job, like I said, being in this thing, they do a good job of safety. So what are you gonna do during construction? And shoot them one in here and one back out?
The parents will do what they've been doing, so it's no change, which is really nice. The parents come around here, they drop
Right.
off their kids, and then they go back out, okay? The buses will come in down here, they'll come out here, drop the kids off along here, and then they come back out, and they can go either way.
Now, the same thing for pickup in the evening?
Yes,
So they'll go out, come in this way, go out that way, okay.
yeah.
There won't be none of this back here.
The nice thing is we haven't had to mess up their routines. Their routines are gonna stay pretty consistent after all this other stuff is messed it up.
Yeah,
They'll be
that was
back
fun.
to what is normal,
Yeah.
and we like normal.
I understand you're gonna tie into water. Where's that water gonna come in at?
You're gonna get into
Water,
that.
water's gonna come off of
You wanna-
Amstutz in front of the school, the main entryway,
Okay, so that'd be right
and
here.
around back to the receiving dock.
Are you gonna directly bore that in? You just put this new road in there, you're not gonna go in there and cut that, are you?
Now, I think the water's actually on our side of the Amstutz,
Okay,
so we're trenching our parking lot.
I thought the hydrants were on
Yeah, I think
this
we're
side.
trenching our parking lot.
Is there stuff underneath there?
Right there.
No, the plans I've seen, the water came in off of State Road 1.
Oh, there you go.
So they're gonna come, so there's a main down there?
Yeah, I think there was talk about both ways, and I think State Road 1 at that time was if we
Did that
we're
drive?
moving the concession building, but we're not moving that anymore. They were looking at what's the max distance. So will have to check the drawings again, but
The last ones I saw, that even this week,
still had one.
showed one, and on Amstutz, the main is on the other side, actually under the road, about 7 or 8 feet.
We can still come off from one.
Okay,
and
so
just
then
has
we'll
grass
come
for
off
it and
Well,
everything, so it's
just,
easy for us to
you know,
Go that way.
you know how when they make the cuts in the road, they
Oh, yeah.
never heal,
Right.
and they only
there's
get worse.
bumps. Yeah, I agree. So
So
it
we've
sounds-
already got a cut down here from a sewer line that it's been sinking all winter. Well, it looks good. Where are those properties at on here?
You looking
Which
for the
property?
parcel map, sorry?
Say what now?
You looking for the parcel map? Give me 1 second.
What's your question?
This is one of them evidently, isn't it?
Mhm, yeah, we're coming through here. This is the new Hauser property is
New
where,
house property is
It's
where
the
we're putting
blue.
the construction drive.
yeah, that's the drive, so
Okay,
we're coming
that's
right
one.
through
Is
there.
this one here?
Oh,
The student exit one, so this is our other one.
The
We
green, the
already have
pink,
that
the
one.
blue is the construction. Actually, Newhouser Drive is that center drive
Yep,
that's yellow up the middle there.
yep, that's our new house.
those 3 parcels are. new.
Yes,
Yep.
it's actually
So
So
that,
that's
5
all.
parcels.
5 parcels.
so it's this parcel and then this up in
Yep.
here? Okay, all right.
And that's just a temporary drive, right? You guys don't
Yes.
have anything from,
Well, it's gonna be an alternate
We're looking at
potential.
bidding as an alternate, because they're gonna put a stone base down.
Okay.
And if we're gonna put a stone base down, we're looking at what the cost is to, obviously, we're gonna put turn lanes in on Highway 1. make that an entrance, so we're looking at, bidding that as an alternate.
Okay.
If they're gonna have stone, why rip it out, if we can pave it,
Right.
we put the right stone down, we pave over it, and then put the turn lanes in. So
Right.
we are looking at that as an option,
Okay.
as an alternate.
Because we talked about, and this is something for the future, because the way those parcels are laid out, there's a chance that we're gonna have to vacate some stuff in there. I'm still trying to figure out how that Newhouser Drive, it shows private on some, and it shows that it's publicly owned on some others. So we're trying to figure out what set of documents make the most sense and which ones are actually accurate. And I've worked with JPR on that, and we just haven't got back around to that piece yet. So as long as it's temporary going to begin with,
Right now, our plan is not to use the Newhouser Drive as the construction, it's gonna go actually through the grass.
okay, off the side of it,
Yeah,
okay,
because that's too narrow.
of a drive too
We'll
close.
take that turn, and then that drive's too close to the fence, and the other property is not wide enough right there, so we'll take out a section of our chain link fence that's running parallel to one, and then make it a wide enough drive for probably dual lane for come and go, trucks coming in and coming out.
Okay.
I got one other question, somewhat not related. You guys bought that house up there and then get ready to tear it down. What are you gonna do with that property?
Which house are you talking about?
It's up here,
Brick
Oh, the
house
one by the
tennis
tennis courts.
yeah.
We're hoping to put some bleachers possibly for watching tennis.
Okay.
Because right now, again, safety. Our parents are out here
Right.
watching and they have little kids and the little kids are running and they're
Okay.
watching the tennis. And the little kids, that road scares me. I have said it's an accident waiting to happen for
You're right,
years.
you're
And
right.
I'm like, get our parents on the end for bleachers.
Well, that was a
So,
curiosity thing, because
Okay.
we got the head decision maker here, so.
yeah, no, bleachers will be one thing and then, we could make it into some extra parking if we needed to.
So you guys will come back to us later about rezoning that?
Yes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
We just haven't yet. That's a little farther down. This is
Okay.
kind of taking priority right now. Did you want to see it?
I'd looked at it.
Oh, okay.
This is too early, because probably, you probably have got architectural drawings and things like that, right? Because I know that is there any of the architects here?
Our architects are not here tonight, but if there are specific things you want to see, we'd be happy to.
Well, just as a planning recommendation board here, we just, a couple weeks ago, or maybe it was last week, approved the Envision 2035 plan for Leo-Cedarville.
Okay,
And so we're especially concerned right now that
sure.
everything that gets built, that gets moved or gets constructed fits into this sort of overall scheme that we have for the entire town. Now, I know that, I'm sure you got good architects and stuff, but I would just, Tyler, I would be very concerned about working with them as early as possible
Yeah,
to make sure that whatever they're doing is sort of, because that's face forward at a
Right.
school like that.
right. And this is tucked on the back side of the property, obviously.
Yeah, but it gets a lot of use back there.
Yeah. So I do know they have a rather large landscape plan,
Okay.
and that kind of, parking lot buffering and that kind of stuff for that property. But I haven't actually seen the elevations. I'm assuming it's gonna look like the rest of the front of that building, a combination of brick and metal.
Well, it's just that there'll be more people that see that building than probably use some of our parks.
Yeah.
That,
Right.
and so we would definitely want to integrate that.
I'll pull the architecturals on it and see what we can find.
Yeah, I just don't want it to look like a school building.
Yep,
I want it to look like a Leo-Cedarville
Yep.
building.
yep, we'll see what we can pull on it.
Yeah.
I can have them have some of that drawings for us, that second
Yeah.
round.
Yeah. Because, exciting project, really.
Oh, yeah.
Could be beautiful back there.
Well, and what it could bring to the community.
Yeah, it's a great project.
They always talk about all that stuff.
Yeah. And they actually probably have the funds to actually come a little bit closer to the Envision thing than
Yeah,
some others
yeah.
would. So, yeah.
Is there any further comments from the public? With that, I'll close the public hearing. Then entertain a motion on the primary, or review of the primary development plan.
And I will tell you, in the findings of facts, that I have written here before me, if you were to approve it tonight in a positive manner, which we're still looking for the potable water plan. I know that JPR has been at the sewer board, and so still waiting on the capacity letter, that they have capacity. They're working on the stormwater overall, stormwater plan that's gotta be approved through Allen County surveyors. And then, we are asking tonight that they, complete a concerted effort to replat all parcels into one. And then, obviously, your approval tonight is contingent on the BZA's approval in 45 minutes.
Just one more question on that. Right now, if you're gonna go to a softball game, there's some parking there,
Right.
30 spots or something. That will be gone, right?
The parking that they typically use, that's right on the side of like where the gym is currently.
Yeah.
That parking will be now part of the staging for the equipment, like when they go do the construction. So the parking now will be over by the football field, like where the baseball people park. They'll have to park over there.
Then
Right.
when
And
it's-
that's for this spring, or not this spring, well, yeah, they start May 29th. So they'll be able to park normal this year.
But
It's the
it'll
next year.
come back at the end of
Yeah,
construction
to
then?
answer
But,
your question, the current bus lot that you're familiar with is parking
yeah.
for that.
Well,
It
I'm
will-
actually talking about the parking that's sort of right by the
Yeah,
soft.
that was
Okay.
what we consider the old bus lot.
Oh, okay.
That will go away, but if you see on the drawing, and I can come up and point to it, we are putting a parking lot right next to it as part of the base bid that will.
Can you point it out?
Sure.
Yeah, it's, well,
Let me
it's
see,
what
hang on
we
a second, I'm
saw.
trying to get to the right image here.
No, you're.
That is-
Because
You got it right
Okay.
there.
Yeah,
The new parking lot that's gonna replace the bus lot is right here.
yep.
And then that drive will connect through, and then I'm not tall enough, thanks, I don't know if that's tall enough, but you can see there's gonna be another new parking lot right here for handicap and a few extra spots.
So where's the parking that's there now?
It's right here.
Oh, right
That's gonna go
underneath the
away.
building?
Yes.
That goes away? All right,
Yes.
good.
And then we're gonna build a
Good.
new parking lot here as part of the base bid.
Yeah, because I think that'll help getting that parking out of there.
If the
Yeah, well.
alternate goes, we'd like to make this all parking, that will also be
Yeah.
striped for band as well. If
Okay.
the alternate doesn't go, then it's a grass area for band.
What's the student count now?
At Leo,
Yeah.
junior, senior, we're around 1,200.
All right, and when the building was built, it was like 500 or?
I would say it was more than that. It was probably around 800 or 900 because it's always been one of our larger ones. Because like Woodland and Heritage are on the smaller side. So New Haven and Leo are competitively about the same. So New Haven usually runs around between 1,100 and 1,200, and I would say Leo at fullest capacity is probably between 11 and 1,200.
And does it look like that's okay for the future?
Oh, we did a demographic study, and that is on our school board presentation, like you could go out and you can see it. The demographer projected 10 years out, and right now, Leo-Cedarville, for student enrollment, we would probably be down in enrollment if we weren't doing transfer tuitions, because we do get a lot of transfer tuitions in this area.
Yeah,
So if we didn't have those, the enrollment out here, because what the demographer found is we do not have migration of our elderly. They're not like having homes and selling them and going and downsizing. A lot of our families stay out here because they love the community. So they stay in 3-4 bedroom homes, and it's just 2 people living
they
there.
don't have kids anymore.
Right, and they stay, where at some other communities, those people move out and they downsize to a small ranch with like 2 bedrooms. And so we just find that in this community, that's not happening, which isn't a bad thing. It just means people like their community and they love what they have and they want to stay here, so.
But if they start adding any more additions, you're gonna have more kids.
We will, but what we're finding right now, like, I'll just use Tullamore, run out there, it's not bringing in school-aged children.
Right.
Because the homes with the pricing of them.
Okay.
So again, it just depends on where we're at, what subdivisions come in and where that building happens and what the pricing of that is. Because starter homes for young families, yes, exactly.
Unbelievable.
You get it. Yeah, so, okay.
Yeah, well, thanks for working out in our community.
Mr. President,
Yes, sir.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve the 2025-03 review, primary development plan for Leo High School,
Thank you.
East Allentown Schools.
Yeah, I'll second.
Sorry.
I'll second that.
Wayne will second.
With that, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Review the BZA 2025-02 request for variance.
Let me pull this back up. So 2025-02 BZA's, a request for variance. As you can see, within this parcel, this is R3. Schools are listed as a special use within R3, as I alluded to earlier. Through this process and working with the school and trying to figure out what's best for them moving forward. And talking with JPR, we changed it from a special use to requesting a use variance. Seems like simple words, but basically what this does is this ties the use of the property forevermore until they would sell it or get out of the business or whatever happens to be a school. So the hope in the thought process is this, that they've added on 2 or 3 times over the last several years. We've seen special uses given to those every time the price is, you know, the application fee, the $700, and then the mailing fees. Well, this time the mailing fees for the residents around here was probably near $700. So while you know, the school, just trying to think ahead, trying to make it easier for the school going forward. This is going to be a school for a long time. I don't foresee them running away, and I don't see any reason in nickel and diming another government entity going forward. So one of the things I will tell you that I've asked, and it's in the findings of fact for the BZA, if they approve this tonight, is that the school works pretty quickly to merge all these parcels into one parcel, because in reality, we're starting to get close to stepping on setbacks and some other stuff. And if they were to merge these properties, that all goes away and their life becomes much easier going forward. So while they're gonna have a little bit more cost up front, eventually that'll subside as they decide to grow and continue to expand. So tonight, what we're asking you guys is basically our ordinance says that this has got to pass in front of you guys, that the BZA should hear it. It is already on the BZA calendar. They've already paid their money. The BZA can hear it, whether, to be honest, whether you guys say 100% yes or no, but it's in good faith.
You said there's 9 parcels. Evidently, some of them are already combined in there then.
Well, no, so, it's easier if we get up a point. So I included the new parcel up here that was just recently purchased.
Good.
This is actually, the way this is parceled out is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Okay.
So 7, 8, and then 9. So,
Why is the high school, it's just being, the labeling's just gonna change on it?
what do you mean?
Did you?
So what they'll do is they'll do a survey of all their property,
Right.
and then their bounds change. Instead of having individual parcels, it'll go through a replat, and all those parcels will become one.
But you pointed to where the high school's set now, right?
That is its own parcel.
So you're gonna, okay. Now I
So
understand.
that parcel will be replatted into one big parcel to include all this into one.
I understand now.
Technically, I'll be honest, this add-on is over the setback limit for this parcel, but because they own all the parcels and have talked in good faith that they're gonna merge them, we're moving forward.
Well, it's a good idea for issues down the road
Yes,
that could come
and the
up.
use variance at the BZA will tie to it all, so.
Okay.
Does the merging of properties, like, that's not Allen County?
No, it's us to do. It's a replat, like we did with Sourteen.
Mr. President,
Yes, sir.
I'd like to make a recommendation that we approve the variance for BZA 2025-2 in association with Leo High School at 14616 Amstutz Road for the variance.
Thank you.
So that is to prove the pushing the variance on, correct, Ray? to the BZA board.
BZA. I'll second it.
Thank you. All those in favor? Say
Aye.
Aye.
And that's-
Opposed?
That's smart work.
Number two, oh, sorry, go ahead, my bad, I stepped into this.
No, what was number, yeah, some of them.
No, I was just gonna go to number three.
Oh.
So
Number three, review and recommend to the BZA 03, request for variance, and use of the parcel with current address of 8234 Hosler Road.
And that may sound odd to you guys, that address, I don't know if you guys were made aware that did you tell them? Oh, okay, I just wanna make sure. I was like, that's not the address that was originally used. This one here is for the intermediate school, this road on the left here is Halter Road. The road on the top is Hosler Road, and it's currently where the soccer fields are at. They own, the school bought this in probably the late 90s, if I remember correctly. I was in school when they bought it, or right around that time. But they are asking for a use variance on this parcel tonight, as well at the BZA. The areas you see in brown will still be farmed, is the intent at this point, I believe. But again, it's the same thing, they're just looking for a use variance. The use variance ties to the parcel, as long as they continue to build schools, they'll still come back here for primary and secondary, but we don't have to ding them for another fee. We know it's gonna be a school going forward.
Entertain a motion?
I'll recommend we put a motion on the floor for BZA 03, request for variance of use, pass it on to the BZA.
Thank you, sir.
I'll second it.
Thank you, ma'am. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Passed. Now we need to assign another person to be a member of the BZA from this board, correct?
Correct. Citizen member.
Citizen member. So I believe you have, what, 3 options?
Yes. 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3.
Jerry's already on it.
I hear the train moving.
So I'll consider some recommendations or nominations.
Or
Volunteers.
Volunteers?
Volunteer.
Yeah,
I'll be on it.
Okay. All those in,
Yes.
yeah.
oh, I need a second, sorry.
No, we need to.
So Jerry's already on it.
Okay.
We need a second one, an additional.
If you wanna be,
No, hi. I'm very
Still need a
glad
second
that
if
you
you volunteer.
volunteered.
Yes.
Okay. Anybody want a second?
Make a motion in a second, so.
I'll make a motion second.
Those all in favor of Jim being on the BZA, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Welcome aboard, Jim.
thank you.
Train moved pretty fast, didn't
Go ahead
it? Train moved pretty fast.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Better not go to sleep here.
Old business. Do we have any signed up to talk? Step on up, Bruce.
I'm Bruce Smith. I live on Hosler Road, directly across from proposed intermediate school. I have some major concerns that I'd like just to make you aware of. One, this past week, we had flooding on Hosler Road where they put in the 36-inch tile when they put in the trail system. What we're finding is there's a significant amount of watershed coming into that 36-inch tile, and right now there's no place for it to go. It stops at the trail. There is remnants of a 12-inch tile that goes across the school property, which is blocked. There are 2 8-inch tiles that are somewhat functional, and they put some risers as cleanouts, but all the water, that is not sufficient for the amount of watershed that's coming into the property above ground. So we're draining everything to the west. There's farmland coming in, there's also homeowners along that side. All this water is coming across above ground. There's no tile, functional tile, except maybe for the large pond. They did a repair on that. There was a Y, they repaired that connecting into the 36. But everything else, as you can see, there's water above the road. So my concern is with the school property, how are they going to continue that 36-inch tile over towards Nettlehorn Ditch through a retention pond. Because we can't have water backing up, flooding our property. It floods our lane right now. I get 6 inches in it. That's one concern. The other concern is road improvements. Hosler Road is very narrow. Put a school bus and a dump truck on there and you'll see what I mean. Hirsch Road's the same way. You've already got mailboxes that get clipped. There's one that's been clipped 3 times probably in the last 4 months. The road's too narrow. And now with the proposal, you got 3 entrances going into the school property on Halter. People are gonna try to go around people, and the road's not wide enough. It's a chip and seal road. It really needs to be improved. Traffic pattern, I didn't see any proposals on the traffic pattern going in and out, but it looks like the majority of the traffic is gonna be going on Halter and not on Hosler. Hosler's your main road. Halter's a side road that's only chip and seal. And then the 4th item, just as a comment, we've got right now it's a T intersection with Hirsch Road. You've kind of got a blind spot right there with a bunch of trees. And the only stop, it's a through street on Halter, and you have a stop sign for Hirsch. We really need like a 4-way stop at that point, because you're pulling way out into the road to see around the trees, to see what's coming at you. It's okay at night when you see headlights, but you can't see it during the day.
I'm laughing, and it's not at you. I've had the same conversation with our town manager, and I guess I don't know if I'm supposed to be talking now or not, but I kind of agree with you. So,
The original plan that I saw when the school corporation first announced the intermediate school, there was an entrance, there were 2 entrances on Halter. One, I guess there was just one, and then there was one on Hirsch, or not Hirsch, Hosler. What I was proposing at that time is create a driveway off an intersection at Hirsch Road. Make it a 4-way stop. There's a little bit of property right there on Hirsch Road that is owned by acres, but you got a property line down there. And if you go a little bit on the setback, you can angle the road in without going and disturbing acres property, which they probably won't give you an easement for it anyway. But you can angle the road a little bit, make that a 4-way stop, and then all of your traffic going into the school on Halter will have to go down to the first 4-way stop, and you can have traffic control at a 4-way stop getting in. Where if you just have a T intersection, you have no control. And you got 3 T intersections on Halter right now. It's first come, first served. But if you were to take, you can move this up. If you could take right here and coming in, Hirsch Road comes in here, angle it in, connect into here, and make this a 4-way stop. It's gonna be a lot safer for all the traffic, and you're eliminating everybody backing up, trying to go in 2 or 3 entrances on Halter. And it'd have a much better traffic flow. And even if acres won't allow it, as far as their property for an easement, you should be able to angle the road and keep it right on the property line or a little bit inside the property line, and then cut over to the end of the horseshoe and revise the traffic pattern. It's gonna be a lot safer for the kids.
let me ask a question of Ms. Hissel. How many kids are projected to be in that school?
Okay, we will probably bring, let's see, we have, 540 right now, so I would say probably there's 8 sections of 3rd grade, about 25 each, what does that equal? So probably about, what, 650, 700 maybe? Or is it gonna be more than that? 880, okay, 880.
So you're talking close to 900 kids.
Yeah, because we're bringing 3rd grade over, remember?
Right, I've
So
heard
we
that.
Free some room up at Cedarville.
There's gonna be a lot of parents wanting to drop their kids off.
Yeah, and
But Bruce,
that's
there is
part
also
of,
3 lanes.
well, that's why we
There's
need to
That
see.
traffic pattern.
See, and.
When you look at it, there's 3 proposals on Halter right now based on this drawing.
Right, but I'm talking about
3
the 3 lane of holding cars.
Yes.
See, that's our stacking,
The
so.
racetrack is kind of like a holding.
It is. It's stacking and then they single file when they get closer to the building. So coming off of Halter, they pull in and they're in 3 lanes and they stay in 3 lanes all the way up to when they get to the building, and then they're kind to each other and they take turns and they get into a single file line in front of the
Okay.
building. But we'll have a staff member out there who will be directing
But
it.
your
Or
entrance,
officer.
what I'm concerned with the entrance down here where you're trying to split and go into this holding area, you've got cars coming into the right, which is a right-hand turn, that's probably gonna take precedence. You're gonna have cars backing up this way, coming in this way, because this is not a one-way street.
So the county is requiring, and Diane, correct me if I'm wrong, the
Yes.
county is requiring improvements on that road as part of this process.
Yes.
Not that entrance.
Huh?
The only thing the highway is requiring is a left turn lane into, can you zoom, come down a little bit? Up this way. They're requiring a left, we've actually shifted this road is coming down, tying in here now. So we have a left turn lane into this entrance, and we have a left turn lane into this entrance.
Trying to
The
make
buses
four-way
enter
stop
on
the
Hosler,
first,
teachers enter on
Because then you have,
Hosler.
you have.
And then the parent drop off, they will come in and they will do the loop. They'll go all the way around, stack up, like Marilyn just said, then they'll come across the front, and then they come out here. So they will never go back out that entrance, they're only coming in that entrance. And this entrance is gated and closed. It's only here for if you have a fence.
So where are they exiting again? Where are these parents?
Right here.
They're gonna exit there.
And there'll be a left turn lane for people wanting to get into this parking lot, they need to drop off their son or daughter, and they need to go to this.
Just in case you guys didn't catch it, this lane is not gonna be this close to the intersection.
Right,
When we met with the county, it had to shift down, it's gonna come off of this drive.
okay.
So, and then when they come in here, they'll go through the stacking process, they'll come around the front, and then they'll exit here. This is only during events will this be open. During a standard school day, this will not be coming and going.
Correct.
This will be closed. So there's only technically 2 entrances unless there's a big event at the school where they need to mass exit people.
And then can I address the water?
Yes,
issue?
go ahead. I was gonna.
Okay, can you zoom up? So what we're doing, we're picking up all the road, any drainage that's coming across the road, we're picking up. And we're gonna pick up that big 36 inch, because you're right, it's just exiting into a field tile right now, because that's what's there to exit into. So we're gonna pick it, and I don't remember exactly where it was, but
Someplace
somewhere
right
in
here.
here, right here. We're picking it up with the 36 inch tile, a pipe, 36 inch. We're taking it into the detention pond. It will flow through the detention pond, and then it'll be exiting out in a, you have to exit in a smaller capacity so it doesn't overflow too much down to the east. But we follow the stormwater drainage, but that's why this pond is as big as it is, because we're also taking that water into it. So it should alleviate the flooding, because right now, your water's not going anywhere, right? So that's why it's backing up. But now it will be picked
Correct.
up, and it won't be backing up because it can continually flow to get across.
In my understanding, are you guys picking up, there's a 36 inch there.
There's
and
a couple down here,
Yeah,
they're picking up all the
small
ones
ones
from the
that
road.
are also broken down.
Yeah, and those are getting picked up and put into that detention.
Yes.
Where did that water go before they put the path in?
The same place it goes right now.
So we had the same issue
We
before?
had the same issue because
Okay.
there's just small tiles.
Bruce's driveway.
Yeah, there's.
So the intent of the trail was to improve that. When we got into
Right.
the trail project, we realized that the downstream, right, we can improve where we're working, but the downstream across their property was backed up. Well, short of us going out there and trying to retrench all this in, we know they're building an intermediate school in the next year. We didn't create a worse problem. In fact, we've probably added capacity. So when the school does their project, we can pick up the rest of that water.
So right now, it's just gonna have to grit our teeth and bear with the water on the road and that type of thing.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's been like that for way too long.
So who's been talking?
Yeah, I would say probably, if everything goes as planned, this project's been out running by August.
Yeah.
So by first quarter or second quarter of next year, I would assume most of that's probably in place.
Because one of the things, first thing you have to do is get the infrastructure in
In
place.
place.
So
Right.
you're gonna be getting the storm in and digging the detention pond, so. not pond, basin. It's
So
dry.
are you who are you dealing with the county?
The county surveyor's office handles the stormwater plan.
Okay, so, but are they also, well, who you talking to about the road?
That is through highway, county highway.
Okay,
So, yeah.
so are they conducive to having a plan to improve that before this school opens?
They said that the requirements for the school was the left turn lanes. That's what
Okay,
they said.
but,
And they said they might be, remember in our conversations, they might be able to bump up some, like,
okay, but to
chip and
answer-
sealing themselves.
but to answer this gentleman's question, are we gonna get some, you think that we're gonna get some improvements on that road prior to that school opening?
They're paying for left turn lanes into the two lots.
Right, well, that would be normal with a
I
project.
don't know if highway will, he said
So
something
highway
about
actually had a
bumping it.
project that started last year out there, and most people don't realize it. They started the grading process, they started the widening process, they did all this stuff, and then when they realized the trail project and the school project was coming, they pulled the brakes and said, no.
Okay, fine.
So when I talked to the county about some complaints further down the way, they said, yes, we're coming back. We're just not gonna come back until the
School
trucks are
yeah,
done
yeah.
running on it.
It would be nice to see some of this in writing, not just, and I'm sorry, I
Yeah.
just,
No, I mean, it's county highway, so I can reach out to them, we can talk to them about it, so.
you know, between the school, the county highway, I think there ought to be something in writing.
So our plans, when we come back with primary, will show the improvements on them.
On the road,
So
that's
we will-
that's a.
That's
Well,
required.
but that, you're gonna show the whole road or just,
Just what we're required to do.
okay, I'm talking about from
That-
Hosler up
yeah.
to, Hirsch Road.
Yeah, and that's highway, that's.
Well,
not-
that's what I'm
yeah.
saying.
Yeah, that doesn't fall within the primary development plan.
Well, but I
That's
think that ought to be, because I agree with this gentleman, it needs to be addressed.
Oh, 100%, but that doesn't fall within their primary development plan.
Right,
And that's what we're dealing with tonight.
Is
yeah, I
outside
understand, I
But
understand.
Jim, I will add to that, in the past, when we've had when we've done road construction plans on the borderline of the town with the county, they've always been really good with us.
Okay.
They've done one side of the road, we've been in contractual things with them when we do the other side. And it's always been, pretty much a shake of the hand and a little bit of a paperwork, but not much. It's just been a thing where we all agree on. So, that's how we've done it in the past. But I see what you're saying, and I'd like to address, really, his question about Hosler and Hirsch, the corner. They were down there just not too long ago, I think last week, cutting that corner back. And if they cut it back a little more and maybe add a stop sign from the south going north, that would help. A two-way stop right there would probably fix the problem immensely, because you wouldn't have to worry so much about what's coming from the south and the north, correct?
Can't see around the corner.
Right.
You got evergreens.
I know they were down there cutting that back, maybe they need to cut it back more.
Wasn't adequate though.
Right, so maybe we just need to go back in there and cut it back a little more and add a stop sign to the other end.
We'll make a stop sign.
But
Stop sign would help.
Yeah.
even that'll just take a phone call to Bill.
We've been talking to the county. I've been working with Rob Davis at the county, and the real issue is the trail. So the trail's being built, there's 2 or 3 things being developed right there right now.
Right.
And nobody's willing to pull the trigger on it until we're sure that we're not gonna rip out whatever we're putting in for the trail build. That's really what it comes down to.
But even a stop sign from the, you know which side of the road I'm talking about.
Right.
We wouldn't have to worry about acres and.
No.
Yeah. There would be no toes stepped on.
I just want to clarify one thing. Construction traffic for this project will come off of Hosler,
Yes.
where the soccer fields are now. So there will never be any construction traffic on Halter. Buses will always come off of Hosler. They will not come down Halter. Only parents and regular vehicle will come down Hosler. That's our Halter. That's our plan right now.
Okay.
So to alleviate that construction traffic, dump trucks, all that will not be on Hosler.
Halter. I do the same thing.
Halter.
Too many H's in one intersection.
Okay?
Is there any further public comment or signed up to talk, I guess? No. With that, we're adjourned.